We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.
Welcome to the 510 Huddle. We back again, wrapping up week 9. If you're a Raider fan, you feeling bad. If you're a Niner fan, yeah, all right. Let's get into it, D-Lane. First of all, how you doing today?
Doing great, man. Hey, just got to work. Late start today, so that's always great when you can have a late start. But, hey, I'm ready to get to it. Let's go, baby.
Let's get it. I got a quick announcement, y'all. Just got married this past weekend. Shout out to my boy D-Lane, coming correct, suited and booted. It was
Had
a great
to for
time.
my guy, man. Had to.
Hey, my man, hey, Spiffy. That's how you say it, right? Spiffy.
Yes, sir. And, hey, man, my boy was sharp as a tack. The bride was beautiful. And, hey, you set the bar with the wedding. I like that, man. I love it. The vibes was on point. A lot of black excellence and a lot of black money makers up in here. I was feeling the vibe, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Hey, you know the family atmosphere, and can't wait to come to yours.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Let's jump right into it. Y'all know I've been on this topic. I want to say the 5-1 Huddle was one of the first people on this topic. I just want to get that out there.
Man.
We saw the downfall with Kyle early. I want to say D-Lane never forgot that Falcons shit show. And I think we were high on Kyle. We always thought he was like top 10, top 12 coach, but we never put him in that top 5 category. And I think a lot of people did. So time to ask is this. We're in year 5. Kyle has picked every single player on that team. He's the head honcho for that organization. Only Jay York is ahead of him. I'm just going to be straight up. Is Kyle a fraud?
I gotta say, he's a fraud. If we talking head coach, and my position has been the same, I think, now for the last 2-3 weeks because we've been talking about Kyle and whatnot and the crew for the last few weeks. And I think my position been the same as far as great play caller, OC, not a great head football coach, man. It's really that simple. Body language can be a little bit off as well on the sideline. And the way it's spiraling the last few weeks, especially last week, losing, getting beat down actually like that to the Cardinals without a D-Hop, AJ Green, without Kyler and the crew, man, that's embarrassing. And you might not have much legs to stand on by the end of the season if this is how it's going to play out, Kyle. Because I was always under the impression, hey, we're going to give you the next year because we know you got your quarterback now. You never did throughout your tenure here, or you believed you did with Jimmy, but now you got a guy that you hand chose and traded a bunch of draft capital to get. We're going to give you next year. But the way it's looking right now and the way things are folding out, I don't believe he might not even get that chance if things keep going how it did last week, say.
I'm going to go out and just say it. He's the new John Gruden. You got to remember who he worked for. I looked up. So these are the people that Kyle Shanahan has learned from and got his foundation from. John Gruden, Gary Kubiak, and Mike Shanahan. Those are the 3 offensive coaches he's worked for and learned from and groomed from. Mike Shanahan had it going with the run game. Legit coach, won 3 Super Bowls, Hall of Fame guy. John Gruden, hot shot guy with the Raiders, right? Him and Al Davis start butting heads. They trade John Gruden to Tampa. Tampa takes over for Tony Dungy. Loaded team, loaded roster, wins a Super Bowl, doesn't do nothing after that. Does not do anything after that. With the Raiders, continuing with Tampa. I'm seeing the same thing with Kyle Shanahan. And you got to remember, when John stepped away in the broadcast booth, got his QB camp, got the guys on, doing all the film, cool shit, all that, right? Kyle Shanahan, he got his little QB camp he do every year. Yeah, I'm a QB guru, this and that. Went to the Super Bowl, lost, but hey, he went. Yay, went to the Super Bowl, lost. Hasn't done shit since. You are who your record is. And I'm seeing it, we read all the data I'm not going to do all the data we did last week. It's a record, his offensive ranking for his teams and so on. He's a fraud, okay? And let's be honest here. The only reason this team has been suitable and has been on the field is because of the defense they've had. And if I'm really starting to think like, hey, this team's falling apart because they don't have Robert Saleh anymore, who's the real alpha man leading those group of men. Because D-Lane, am I wrong? I want to play for Robert. Do you?
No, I love Robert. We both love
and his destiny was trying hard. Mike White, they're not a great team, but they're fighting hard. I'm buying me some Robert Saleh stock. If I was a Jet fan, I like what I'm seeing. Right? I'm just going out. Kyle Shanahan's a fraud, and it really just makes me think of John Gruden 2.0. And only difference was John actually won the Super Bowl. That was the only difference. That was the only difference. And and honestly, it might be disrespectful to John because John like, hey, I had a winning record with the Raiders. I'm like, hey, my fault, John. You're right. You did have a winning record, and you did transform Rich Gannon and won some MVPs. So I got to give you that. But I think overall, John, after Tampa Super Bowl, John should not have been talked about as a leader coach. He should have been talked as a has-been, and that's what he is. I think Kyle Shanahan, when I say fraud, I'll say he's a fraud, elite head coach that we thought he was. I think he's an average head coach, and I'll say this, and this might be bold. He will not be by 2023, he will not be the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers.
So are you sharing the same thoughts as me as far as if it plays out, the rest of the season plays out how it did this past Sunday, he's gone after this season? Do you believe he doesn't even get that second year with Trey?
No, he gets, and honestly, I think he's mimicking it, and I think that's why he's not playing Trey Lance. He's buying time. Give me a shot with Trey Lance first. I think that's why he's not playing Trey Lance. I mean, I'm waiting to see the news. I'm checking Twitter every 10 minutes to see Trey Lance the starter. I want to see Trey Lance play. All these other rookie guys are playing. I want to see what he got. Justin Fields looking like the best quarterback right now.
I was just about to go.
And we're going to get into that in a second.
We will, because didn't I text you last night about that? Hey, Fields, he might be saving Nagy's job if his progression keeps playing out the way it's been playing out. Even though I know it was a shit show early on. We was all calling for Nagy's job early on. I like the way Fields looked last night under 2-minute pressure.
If I'm pace, I'm like, hey, now you got to go. I ain't wasting this. You got to go. I'm about to get Joe Brett, But no, that's
just remember though, Nagy. They did hire Nagy. Nagy was another one of those offensive hotshot wizards coming out when he got the job.
Have a winning record.
I know that. And he been in the playoffs with Mitchell. I think at this point you found your recipe. You got your hot shot call, or you got your offensive minded play caller. You got your young QB that's gonna keep getting better. I think you just go get a hot shot defensive play caller.
Last point, we'll bring it back.
They're already solid.
No, you're right. Last point, I'll bring it back. If Nagy makes the playoffs, he'll be back. Simple, and he should be back. I won't be calling for his job. I just think you don't want to be searching for. I can get a little bit better as a coach because the grass ain't always greener. So I'll say that. If Nagy makes the quarterback and Justin Fields still taking jumps each week, it'll be. You're right. You have to bring him back, but let's bring him back real quick. So we understand what Kyle is. What's the direction of the franchise? Let's say they don't make the playoffs this year. What's the direction? What's the attitude going to the offseason?
We got to get Trey Lance better. I think that's what this is all about, right? Because his staff and his job is on the line. Kyle's job is on the line, and his staff's job is all on the line. Is all on the shoulders of Trey Lance and his progression. He has to get better. It's that simple.
I got you. What do you do with Jimmy?
Got to move him or get rid of him at this point. But that contract is damn near towards the end, I believe, right? He only got like a year or two left of that big contract money.
Yeah, he has 1 year left, so he signed through 2022.
You might be able to find a struggling team that might be willing to take it on because it's not that high of a number no more. Because a few years ago it was higher. It's set quarterback market. So I got it right here, like 2025, right?
It's $27 million next year. That's a huge cap hit for him. For
him that is, but if we're talking elite quarterback money, that ain't too bad. But for him, yes, for him, that's hard for him.
No, you're right.
Given the way it's played out, how he's played out, yeah, that's kind of.
If you're Washington, you have to address the quarterback next offseason. You have to, or Ryan's gone. So you would have to trade someone for that. Some of these teams will have to get that. Like some of these coaches are on their last year, and they're like, I don't care if you can't find a quarterback, do something about it. So, I think you have to trade him. Jimmy can't be on the roster next year. So we both can agree on that. Regardless, if it's a release, if it's a trade, whatever. He's not on the roster next year. I think you can trade him. He's at minimum a below average starter. So you can trade him, okay? I think you have to invest in Trey Lance. But my problem with investing in Trey Lance is, does Kyle know how to do it? One, because he's not getting fired. No matter, they can lose the rest of the games this year. He's not getting fired. Two, How can I know he'll stay protected? Their own line is always hurt, and now half the O line's hurt again. And Kyle's not an overachiever O lineman. That's the reason they pay their O line a lot. They have veteran O linemen. So it just keeps asking the question, like, can Kyle develop anybody? McGlinchey isn't good. Same year as Colton Miller. Everyone's like, oh, McGlinchey, can't miss pick. The digression year over year as a right tackle. I just have a lot of questions. Can he develop? Now, do you have to? That just leads to the next question. Do you invest more on offense? Like, because, like, what do you – I can't see the offense change. How are you going to help Trey develop? I think they can get, you know.
I mean, I don't really see what more you can add. You got weapons.
That's the user part.
Yeah.
If you look at their roster, you're like, how is the team not at least a game over 500 right now? At least.
I mean, you could say that. Then we could also look at that division like they are one of the toughest divisions in football. So, I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough.
I mean, yeah, in football. I mean,
they're in the division with the Rams and the Cardinals, two teams that everybody can say that contenders easily.
Well, look at what about the AFC? The AFC North. It's
Yeah, but the AFC, you know, we're gonna talk about that in a second. Guys dominoes are falling left and right.
I mean, every team in the AFC, I would say every team in the AFC North is above 500. So
the best team in the AFC right now don't even got their best player. Tennessee Titans. That's crazy. Yeah.
So last point on the Niners before we move on. What if you're a 49er fan right now? What's worse for you? Is Kyle actually like being a bad coach, right? Is that worse situation, or is it worse for them missing on Trey Lance? What would be a worse situation for them?
I'm gonna say, oh, that's tough. That's a good question. I wanted to say the quarterback because of all the draft capital they gave up for him, and that's tough. Kyle, I'm gonna go with the quarterback just because of all the draft capital they gave up for him. And I feel like we seen Kyle win it's proven we seen Kyle get to the Super Bowl with a Jimmy G. So I'm gonna go with Trey. That's a good question. I like that one. I had to think.
Yeah, I'm in my bag with that. Yeah, honestly, I'm with you. That it's Trey Lance. I mean, the amount you traded so much for him, even though you could have Justin Fields at the spot you picked to trade. But we'll talk about that later. I think it's that because you can move off Kyle, I think, quicker and recover quicker, just because I believe there's more quality coaches out there than there is franchise quarterbacks. And two, I think missing on Kyle kind of could be a blessing in disguise in a way, kind of how the John Gruden situation. I think the Raiders will be a better off starting this offseason long term without John Gruden. So that's how I look at that situation. If Kyle's bad, like, let's say he's just continuing to be terrible, let's just hope that he didn't make a terrible pick with Trey Lance. Hopefully it works out. And last point too, just on something why I'm not trying to say Trey Lance is going to be good and be worried about it. I mean, only because he's only played one game. Kyle has only he missed on Solomon Thomas. Because you remember, he's the man in charge. He missed on Kinlaw, who traded a first-round pick, traded Buckner away for.
Kinlaw basically been hurt all year?
Oh, he's on IR rest of the year, surgery, yeah. Yep. And then last year he only played a few games. So he's one of those guys, like, is a good starter, but just will never be. He has that. They say he has the same knee injury as Todd Gurley, that degenerate knee.
Got you.
So right, you missed on McGlinchey. He's just not. Colton Miller just got a 5-year extension, starting left tackle. That's what you need, top 10. You missed on McGlinchey. So you hit on Brandon Ayuk and Bosa. I don't give him credit for Bosa because it was nice clear cut. Like, I don't really give the Raiders credit for drafting Mac. No shit. You know what I mean? There's certain picks just duh. Like, yeah. I'm not giving Washington credit for drafting Chase Young. Duh. Right? So you got a no-brainer pick in Bosa. I'll give you credit for Ayuk. That was a great pick. But you're not even using him. He's in the doghouse. You're playing, like, trying to be hard ass for no reason. You got a losing record trying to play hard ass as a coach.
Man.
So that's my last point on Niners. If I'm a Niner fan, though, All I'm worried about is Trey Lance. I will just protest every day. Trey Lance, Trey Lance. That's the positive point of your season. The faster you see Trey Lance, I think the happier you be as a fan. And watching for football, I want to see Trey Lance. We all want to see Trey Lance. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the Raiders real quick. They're in a weird place. John Gruden gone, racist email, homophobic, losing coach, so on. We know that spill. Later on, one of the players, again, if you told me what are 5 players for the season that would at least like to get arrested, Henry Ruggs would be on that list. Character free, no issues type of player. He's career done. A woman lost her life, lost a dog, major injuries. It's right, and not only is his life and a woman's life ruined. The Raiders lost one of their best players and a player that changed their offense and helped Derek Carr look like a better quarterback. So that's suddenly gone. And that just didn't happen early on in the bye week. That happened just right before they took a 5-hour flight to New York. On top of that, then another first-round pick of theirs, John Gruden guy, Damon Arnett, has gotten in 4 accidents in all rental cars his time in Vegas, and then posted on Instagram, flashing guns, saying he's going to kill someone. Released. Also, wasn't a good player either.
I just DM'd you something about him too on Twitter.
Okay. I gotta check that out. My question for you, D-Lane, now, as Mike Mayock sits there as GM in control right now, where do you go from here the rest of the season? And let's just say the season ends, the Raiders are 500, just missed the playoffs, just missed it, right? Like in it the last game of the season, right? Are you on complete rebuild mode, or you bring a coach in, add players, playoff mode? What's your thoughts here at midpoint in the season?
So I wouldn't call this a complete rebuild. I would definitely think it's more leaning towards. I'm more leaning towards push a button and rebuild, but I don't know if it's really. How about let's use the word retool or reboot, because I believe you guys. Yeah, because I believe. Retool or reboot, either or. Because I believe you guys do still have weapons that still have a championship level window if we can get the right structure around the guys organizationally. What do I mean by that? One starts with Mayock. He's solid, but I still believe he needs to go. You already sold me last week when you said the name, and I forgot he was a Raider. You guys need a Raider in there. Go get Lou. I heard enough for the last 4 off seasons about Lou. I've been wanting Lou to get a GM job. He's your man. Go get EB or a highly qualified coach. Offensive-minded coach, actually, because Gus Bradley got that defense playing pretty good defense. If y'all go get y'all elite offensive-minded coach, and a few weapons here or there sprinkled in, more so on the defensive side than offense, because your offense is pretty much set. Ruggs added a different type of problem, the monkey wrench into that offense that was flowing. But we got a little duct tape right there with D-Jack coming in to fill a hole for you guys and plug that hole right there. So hopefully that'll work. I like the pieces that you guys got. I just think the pieces that you guys got need structure. That's it.
I'm with you on that, Dylan. I think a major question is more. I like that retool. I think the Raiders should retool this offseason. Even if they make the playoffs, I think they still need to. They're still Rich isn't the head coach. I think he's an elite special team coach, and that's definitely who you want as your assistant coach on the team, right? Someone that definitely lead men. It's just not a head coach, right? You're seeing some decisions last week, but to move off that, I think they should retool. I'm happy with Lou. I'm even happy with Mike because I'm really curious to see the decision Mike makes when he's in charge. I don't think people understand. Every decision in that building was going through John Gruden. Mike answered to him. All right, this was Mike. Hey, this is my decision, John. I got you. I'll do what I think is best. So then it's a retool. I think one of the positive things is I don't even like talking like this, so please forgive me. It's easier to replace a wide receiver and then other positions. So the Raiders could easily find a dynamic receiver in the offseason, help boost her quickly. And then I think the only question is when you say retool is obviously they need a D tackle, obviously guard depth. Do you want to do one of those big trades for Deshaun Watson, or are you happy with Derek Carr long term? I think that's the only real question when you're retooling. If you go with Derek Carr, I think you get you invest heavily to wide receivers next year.
But before you keep answering that question and figure that out, Zay, you got to get the coach because it really matters about does the coach
Actually,
believe I can win with this guy or do we need to go get a guy?
let me make it simplified. If Derek Carr makes the playoffs this year with the Raiders, he's your quarterback next year. To do that under this circumstance this season, I think that's disrespectful. Doesn't even make sense.
And that speaks volumes about him
That shows
as a leader. Yeah, if he can make the playoffs under all this type of duress from this season.
See, I'm not beating him up for the Giants game. Josh Allen scored 6 points against the Jags. It's the NFL. You're going to have games. And anyone that hasn't played football at least like a 12, 13, 14, 15 games, it is the most tiring, mentally tiring thing you can do. D-Lane, real quick, before the next topic, can you tell people how mentally it feels for in college season for like a week 13 for you?
He said what, bro?
Can you talk to me? Can you let people know how mentally tiring it is and why you see like NFL teams like lose games they shouldn't late in the season? How it feels?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just because it's a long, like
your mind feels clouded.
Yeah, the whole weekend was a prime example of it as far as the Cowboys Broncos game. But the game that to me that stuck out was the Jazz. As far as that personifies the term any given Sunday, I believe was the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Buffalo Bills. Because ain't no way in hell I would bet my last dollar on Buffalo to win that game, and nobody would have thought that the better Josh Allen was on defense playing for the Jaguars this past Sunday. Also, our 510 Huddle Player of the Week, Josh Allen, on defense for the Jags. So, yeah, man, it's like, but I say it all the time to my players, and I said it on the pod a few times. It's a roller coaster ride in the NFL season. Got highs and lows. Sometimes your lows can look real ugly. You can take things from the highs and you can take things from the lows. But that's just how it goes in the game.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's a long season. So the last point of the Raiders agrees with you. Retool, get to a top flight offensive mind in there. Add a couple pieces at wide receiver. Some depth. Because the defense is playing well. They haven't given 30 points yet this year. So I think they got a lot to build on. Now let's move on to, you just said the Bills. What's going on in the AFC? Who's gonna be representing the AFC when it's February? Let's go on and just say it. Or who's a couple teams you can see? It's almost seems like whoever got the best field goal kicker when it comes playoff time.
Man, for real. Man, it's tough. You know who I'm gonna go with, because I believe this quarterback, he's also my MVP. We're gonna get to MVP talk later, but I just believe he took the next step. I know his defense has shown in spots this year they can't be trusted, but they still, I believe, are good enough to get it done. And this season they have shown they can stop elite teams, elite quarterback play like Justin Herbert. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens, man. I'm gonna go with the Ravens, and I'm gonna go with Lamar. I think he's doing too much right now on the legs. On the ground game and in the air. Just too dynamic, man. And I feel like that's the only team right now in the AFC that I trust. And like I said, it's hard to trust any team, any of them, even with the Ravens. Because like I said, with their 2 losses, we can talk about them too and the flaws they got. They're all flawed in the AFC. I'll say that too. I think the winner of the Super Bowl this year might be coming out the NFC. We'll talk about that later too. Go ahead, Zay.
Yeah, I think the best. I think the best team. A lot of people are high on the Titans. I just see the Ravens just keep getting better and better. I like the Ravens.
You do too, Zay? You do too? I think it's more of a Lamar thing for me. Go ahead.
It's a Lamar. It just feels right.
Yeah, like it's his time. Don't it feel like it's his time in his year, Zay?
Yes. And when he does that, it's going to, I'm not going to say it's like this, but it's almost going to feel like when Obama became president the first time. Because he's doing it the way no one writes it up. I got on him, right? Every stereotypical GM, oh, he can't do it. Yeah. He doing this for the Mike Vicks. He doing it for the Pop.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. He made him play wide receiver because there's a lot of Lamars and Pop Warner that they made him switch position in high school. So I'm not gonna get off that spiel. But yeah, the AFC, man, I think the Ravens are top dog, and I just can't count the Chiefs out. Right now, their win was not pretty at all against Jordan Love. It was disgusting. But I just feel like Andy Reid always figures it out. He started 1-5 before and then won 11 straight games. I just can't count Andy Reid and the Chiefs out at all. Now their defense is suspect, but I mean, look at no one's defense is dominating the AFC, right? I think the Bills have the best defense, but no one's dominating. Then you got Bill. Bill's a team you don't want to play. They're kind of getting better and better. I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl, but I think they're a team that might be 2-3 seed when it comes to playoff time. But I want to say something about the AFC, right? A lot of people are beating up on the AFC, okay? There are 11 teams in the AFC that have won 5+ games. 11 teams, okay? In the NFC, there's 6 teams that have won 5+ games. So is the AFC really that bad, or is the NFC just play shit on a week-to-week base? Isn't that crazy? Like, think about this. The 49ers are the 11th seed in the NFC. The Broncos are the 11th seed in the AFC, and they're 5-4. And we're talking about them poo. They're poo. Like, we just talk about them like they're bad.
No, the Broncos actually ain't that bad.
No, I'm just saying, we're not talking about them as like, oh, we're gonna pound 10 for the playoff team. But think about it, the 7th seed is 4-4 right now, and so you're in the playoffs in the NFC at 4-4.
So you know who I like out of the AFC? Yeah, go ahead, Zay.
I think the Colts are the 12th. They won 4 games, and they're the 12th seed. It's like a bloodbath.
So you know who I like in the AFC that's a sleeper right now that nobody's talking about? And I've been talking about them a little bit the last few weeks because I like their rookie quarterback. I really like this team to make a serious playoff run the way they're looking right now. You know what I'm talking about?
You said rookies, so I know you didn't say the Pats.
The Patriots. They top 10 in defense right now. Bill got them boys playing. They playing, Zay. I'm telling you, keep your eye on them Patriots, man. Because you know why? For the simple fact that we just argued for the last 5-10 minutes, nobody in this conference could be trusted. Why you can't put the best coach up there with a top 5 defense and a young rookie quarterback that's getting better and starting to push the ball down the field more and more each week? I like the Patriots, and I've been saying it for the last few weeks. I'm going to keep going with them. I like the Patriots, man.
I definitely see the Patriots making the playoffs, but I can't see them going deep just because.
You wasn't saying that before the season.
You're right. No, right.
For sure. You was on me. You was on my helmet for saying that before the season.
You're right. But I said 500, though. I didn't act like it was poo. I said 500. But we still – no, my only thing with them, well, all I'm seeing is this, like, wow, all season, all I have to do, they had a couple weapons. Again, receivers not hard to do. Like, I'm looking at Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. 4-3 guy do it all, right? There's a lot of receivers, speed guys coming to the draft. I think the Patriots could be next year 1-2. We're talking 1-2 seed out AFC. This year, Eli was on it. I think they're definitely gonna be a playoff team. But in the playoffs, every defense gets better. If your defense is ranked 20th, your defense might look like a 12th ranked defense in the playoffs. You know this, everyone, and especially in the NFL. So, and that's where rookie quarterbacks tend to struggle, unless your name is Tom Brady or Big Ben. In the playoffs. But no, AFC to me is a bloodbath and exciting. A lot of people saying it's shitty. I just think it's more quality football in the AFC. In the NFC though, it's like the SEC. It's 5 teams and that's it. Like legit, Rams, Cowboys, Bucks, Packers, Cardinals. Everyone else we're not taking seriously. And the Saints are going to make the playoffs because Sean Payne's legit. That's it, right? Sean Payne, you're seeing a coaching clinic this year. But there you go.
All right.
But I can't take the Saints to win a playoff game against maybe the Cowboys because I don't trust Mike McCarthy. But no other team I can see him even have a shot in the playoffs.
So Zay, I know I'm skipping off the schedule a little bit here. I'm actually bumping the topic up right here. If this team lands OBJ, I'm putting them to the Super Bowl because I think they should go. I think they should get OBJ. Because I think OBJ will put them over the top.
Before you say it, I have one sentence to say. OBJ is officially a free agent. Johan Anderson just tweeted, OBJ might take his time to pick his team. He has interest from a few, and he wants to meet with all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just seen that as well. He went unclaimed on the waiver wire. Zay, he needs to go to the New England Patriots. If he goes to the Patriots, they're going to the Super Bowl. If he goes to the Patriots, they're going to the Super Bowl. Tell me he wouldn't be nice with the Patriots. 12 personnel, elite receiver like him. Then you got Bourne and Aguilar on the other side. That's all they're missing. Wide receiver one.
I'll say this: if McCorkle Jones can let him hang, I agree with you. And he's getting better every week, but I gotta see him let him hang, and they'll do it. I'll say that if they get OBJ, he'll do it.
Tell me.
But I also say this: if Mac Jones was a Super Bowl just by having OBJ in a top 10 defense, if all it took was a top 10 defense and OBJ to go to the Super Bowl, they just got Tom Brady 2.0 and we're fucked.
Man, I like the way these
Hey,
I can't go to Tom. Nobody can say Tom. I feel like you can't just say Tom this early unless he wins the Super Bowl.
I'm saying, if he goes, just if he goes.
Yeah, if he goes, okay.
I don't want to say Tom 2.0 because no one's Tom. That's like saying MJ 2.0. Exactly. I just want to say they got something. I would say that they got something.
They got something, man. I think they got something.
I also want to say this before I'll say my team for OBJ. Mac Jones is officially on I don't mess with you list because of what he did to Josh Allen, twisting his knee. That was a
Brian Burns.
They both ballers. That's why I mixed them up.
So I gotta rewatch the play, but I seen Belichick say he possibly thought he might have had the ball. I'm not sure. I don't know if he fumbled or whatnot on that play, but I know that's what they said. Belichick said in response to it. He probably thought he had the ball and he was just grabbing and holding on to him.
Grabbing and twisting. Yeah, and twisting. I guess. All I know is this. If that was my teammate that he did that to, I'm gonna be playing this week. I lost my check. You getting kicked in the shit. But look, so I need a little more from him before he get on my he on my hater list. I'm not biased about his play. He balling, but where I want OBJ to go, I don't like seeing people career stuff because if it goes to the Packers, they win it all. I'm just saying, keep it all the way. But
hell nah.
Devontae Adams, OBJ, and A-Rod together, they're winning it all.
I can't believe you just said that.
And they said that might be his top choice. Think about it. He's never had two top guys at once. Look, Tom Brady got two top guys right now. Shit, well, he got a loaded roster. This will be the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career he has two top guys on the outside. Right? He's had Jordy Nelson, a nice slot with Cobb. He's never had two lead guys on the outside. And I think if that happens, oh man, that's a match made in heaven.
I cannot believe you just said this. You know why?
Why?
The only way that I agree with you. Yeah, they can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you, it's crazy because damn well the only way they can win the Super Bowl with OBJ the Packers is if the Green Bay Packers defense never touches the field. Because you and I both know their defense. I don't give a damn. Their defense is not to be trusted and soft.
They just held KC to 13.
Right. KC been struggling all year. KC been struggling all year, and they didn't do nothing different that the last 7-8 teams that have been playing KC do.
No, you're right. Hey, it's bad when KC is get your defense right game.
Facts, exactly. But that's why. So that's why I was going more with the team that's more balanced. I don't think he needs to look for the superstar matchup with the other guy.
Last year, I just feel like the team with the most talent wins, but I feel like balance doesn't always win because last year, you say Bucks, they're balanced, yes, but they have Tom Brady. That's the X factor. That's changed everything, right? But most of the teams are late. It's just the best quarterbacks, most weapons. Think about it. I think if A-Rod lost a close one to the Bucks last year, if he had OBJ, I think they can win that game.
Nah, defense. At the end of the day, defense.
You have Devontae. I think you're not giving enough credit how hard it is to lose.
You know who I would have said if they had a quarterback? They just ain't got a franchise quarterback. Even though James, I would have said the Saints. But Mike is out for the year too. Nah, never mind. Him and Mike.
If I'm OBJ, I'm like, what's the highest percentile chance to win a ring? That's not like going to the Bucks and just like. Come on, it wouldn't even make sense. You'd be back, it wouldn't make sense, right?
If he wants a chance, if we talking this year, a chance to win the ring this year, and we just talking about fit.
I'm saying Raven, Bills, Packers. That's me.
I was about to go to. I was going to say the Ravens. I was going to say the Ravens or the Bills. If we talking about fit and that can instant get a ring this year, I'll say the Ravens or the Bills.
And I would even say the Rams. Push Robert to the slot, and it's easy.
Too many of the same type of guys at receiver. Like that's why I just said I like OBJ. What team did I just say?
No, right.
Saints. I would like OBJ with a healthy Mike because I just feel like those are two different type of receivers. You feel me?
Yeah, no, I got you.
You put him with the Rams. It's like 3 of the same receivers down there.
You're right. You're right. I mean, I want to see what the packs. I just want to see A-Rod loaded.
I got you.
I never seen A-Rod loaded.
I got you. No, I feel you on that.
Clip.
I feel you.
We seen Tom with a clip. Like, he got Randy Moss. And like, I just want to see him have a clip, man.
Shit. So, he got Devontae. He's straight.
And man, that's one, even Kyler, like, I got old school AJ Green, I got Hopkins, I got Randall Moore, I got Christian Kirk.
Yeah, you got talent.
I got Devontae Adams, I got Zay, I got D Lane. I'm just no, I'm not gonna disrespect them boys. They got some Lazard, he's all right. But this is the topic I had to bring up real quick. Actually, let's do a MVP pick and then we'll end off that. Who's your mid-season MVP pick?
I think me and you talked about it a little bit before the show. I'm gonna go with Lamar. Make the next step, especially as a passer. Right now, he's outthrowing your favorite quarterback and outrunning your favorite running back in one game. It's freaking ridiculous. The progression he's made over the years, especially while a true number one. But he got Hollywood. Even Hollywood. He's been playing his ass off the last few weeks. I don't know if he'll ever truly live up to a real number one. I still think he's a high-end wide receiver too. But I like the way Hollywood been looking the last few weeks. And I also like the way Bateman been looking. He's still a rookie. He only got like 2-3 games under his feet. He been hurt for the Ravens. But I'm going with Lamar, man. Lamar's doing too much. He accounts for like 70-80% of their offense. I'm going Lamar. 6-2, number 2 in the AFC right now. I'm going Lamar.
I mean, I feel like you can't go wrong with Lamar. That's my pick too. But I think the real question is, who's in second place? Who's knocking on the door? Who has a shot? I feel like there's a man we quietly ain't talking about. That's that man, Aaron Rodgers. He's balling. I mean, his team's going to have a 1 or 2 seed. He has 17 touchdowns, 3 picks. Hasn't turned the ball over. Top 5 in passing. I think he has a shot to win it.
A-Rod? You said A-Rod a second? Overtime?
Yeah, overtime.
A-Rod, I mean, no time leading the league in passing yards.
No, he is leading in passing yards, but I'm just going, hey, all right. Tom can win it every year just because of his age. To me, what he's doing is age alone. Man, he should win it. But to me, I think A-Rod might have one of those ridiculously efficient, crazy number years. And then to me, again, if he has OBJ, it's going to be crazier. I just feel like, and with Tom, there's not a single weakness on his team. Not a single weakness on his team. And so it's kind of like, for Tom Brady that we know, this is expected with that amount of talent. Because he's done this with less. That makes sense. With A-Rod, to me, it's him and Devontae. Let's get it.
I'm looking at the teams. I really wouldn't even know who to say as a close second. Like before,
we agree it's Lamar. I'm just saying if it's going to be a second, I'm just gonna say Aaron Rodgers. You got Tom Brady as your second. I got Aaron Rodgers. That should have been a question. Who's in second?
For sure. Yeah, because we both got Lamar.
Let's end it off real quick though. Lamar MVP is his to lose right now. It's his to lose. And this is my topic. I had to bring it up, and I gotta apologize. I talk my shit.
And I like him from day. Well, I ain't gonna say I liked him, but I was high with him with Kyler from day one.
Yeah, he was. And I was honest, and I didn't like Cliff from day one. He had a losing record in college, and to me, he got one of these jobs just because he had good hair and knew somebody, right? And I think Cliff is showing this year, like, hey, we got a complete team. I've gotten better as a coach, which he has. He's showing he's a legit dude for Kyler. I was calling for EB the Air Cardinals. I want Eric Bieniemy to go coach Kyler. I think this is Cliff is doing his thing. I think the team's getting better on him. He's developing. Him and Steve Keim are hitting on draft picks. Shout out to Cliff and the Arizona Cardinals. They got a shot to win it. I know me and you didn't mention them at all, but they just won a game with Colt McCoy away. That was that's elite coaching right there. They won a game without Cliff. That's called great coaching, great staff, great game planning. So shout out to Cliff and his staff. They're pretty much a lock to make the playoffs. There's a 92% chance to make the playoffs. 2 more games, they'll be locked in. So shout out to Cliff.
No, facts, man. But the question, I might shock you with my answer. The question is it time to apologize to Cliff, correct?
It is. I'm sorry, Cliff.
I'm actually going to tell you, I don't think it's time for you, at least you particularly, to apologize, eh? And I'm going to tell you why. Because like I said, been high on Cliff and the Kyler relationship from day one. Just thought it would work out. He's an offensive-minded guy, guru, supposedly. And Kyler is freaking talent at the quarterback position. But you said something key, I believe, a week or two ago on this very podcast, eh? And you said Kyler's never coached a winning program or a winning team in his career late in a football season, where his team had a winning record. As far as you said it yourself, that you was like, so he probably wouldn't even know what type of speech to give these dudes. They land a halftime game late in week 16. They down at halftime. He got to go in to rally the troops. And I thought about that. You're right. I love it. I love your point on that, because you're right. Like, we have to see. I got to see this through. I got to see this. And I'm not saying, he has to win the Super Bowl, but you got to win at least a playoff, be competitive in a playoff game and win one for me to say, okay, you took that next step as a coach. Because you're right, Zay, I haven't seen you lead a group of men, a successful group of men, a winning team group of men. I need to see that.
You're right. I mean, using my words against me, but you're right on that. I think really highly of the San Francisco defense, and for Colt McCoy and their top two weapons to be gone and what they asked. And to me, the Niners, I think, like this, they're fighting for their lives right now. You know, they weren't overlooking the Cardinals. You know, I think that to me was my favorite win. That's the best one to me of the Cliff era, to win a game without anybody. That's coaching. And you outcoached Kyle Shanahan again, who we think was a fraud, but you know what I mean. So, but you're right. Late in the season, maybe I'm jumping a gun. I just think they're getting so far ahead that they're pretty much going to be a lock to make the playoffs. But you're right. When it's halftime in this first playoff game, they have a loaded team. I think they're expecting to win at least one playoff game this playoff. So we're gonna see.
They got to win at least one. The way it's playing out right now, he needs at least win one. At least one.
I got you. Hey, real quick before we out of here. Is Josh Allen completely out of MVP conversation?
I wouldn't put him completely. I feel like it's still up in the air right now. Everybody, like I said, clear-cut one, I believe, after week 9 is Lamar, and everybody else is in second. But we know how this works in the NFL. It's a week-to-week thing. Last year, I think, for the first 9 weeks of the season, we were all singing Russ's praise. Russ was on an unbelievable track, and then, like, the last, he's about to be back. But last, 6-7 games of the season, he had more interceptions than touchdowns, I believe. So, you know how this goes. Man, it's a week-to-week thing. But right now, I'm going with Lamar.
And I'm with you on Lamar. I'm gonna leave with this. I forgot what Coach said this. They said November, December, we see who's men and who's boys. So we're gonna learn a lot real quick in the next couple of weeks.
Real quick before we get out of here, Zay, who we got Thursday night football? Ravens, Dolphins, at Dolphins.
Ravens by 14 plus.
I'm going to take Ravens. I'm going to take them to cover. I'll say it's a competitive game. I feel like the Thursday night games usually always are. Short week, quarterbacks and the team got prepared with less time. I'm going to go close game. I got Ravens as well. Not close game, excuse me. I'm going to say Ravens to cover, excuse me.
Yeah, we need a better Thursday night matchup. It should be flexed. I don't like that.
Yeah, that one was ugly. That one was ugly. It might end up being solid, though. I mean, the defense, Miami's defense hasn't played up to par like they have in the last few seasons, but they still showing flashes so far this season with Brian Flores.
Yeah, they need.
Let's see if they can make it tough. On them.
Yeah, they got a defense. We're gonna see. So,
no.
All right, bro. Catch you.
All right, all good, man.
This week, or you do Zoe again. Zoe was yeah.
I'll let you know. We'll figure it out.
All right.
We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the Huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is time to get back to the huddle.